I'm constipated all the time. I'm doing flax pudding, half cup of flax in your smoothie. Is that why? If you're eating fiber, fiber's supposed to help you go to the bathroom, right? That's why they sell fiber laxatives. And the way fiber works in the bowel is that the fiber goes into your gut and then it pulls water from the body into the gut as well. And that mix of water and fecal matter and fiber help move everything out like a lazy river out of the colon and into the toilet, right? Or wherever you tend to go. Maybe you're camping, Mama. Takes it out, right? So it's also one of the reasons why dehydration causes constipation, is because if you don't have water, you don't have a lazy river. If you come to my classes, you've seen me act that out. People love to see me act out what poop goes like, poop going down a dry slide, right? So that's how fiber works. Now, there are some folks who have weak bowels, because realize your bowel walls have these muscles wrapped around them, and the muscles will contract in concession. And that also helps move things along. So you have the water to make things flow through, and you have these muscles that then contract to help encourage it to keep moving down. Now, some people, these muscles are very weak because you've had maybe, I don't know about you, but whoever has this problem has had a low fiber diet. So a lot of people eat lots of meat, lots of processed foods, cooked vegetables. They're not very high in fiber, and or the fiber's already been cooked and destroyed, whatever. They're just, it's not a high fiber diet. They're not getting raw foods. They're not getting enough hydration. They have weak bowels. So what happens is that you eat the fiber, which is supposed to help. The fiber pulls water in. So now the intestine's inflated. And because those muscles are weak, they can't contract enough to push things through. They're overwhelmed, so they're just kind of quivering, but they're not getting a nice robust contraction to help move the stool along. So for people who have that problem, too much fiber, instead of making them go more, which many of you are probably like, I'm going 6 times a day. Some people, it's the opposite. They get constipated because the fiber pulls everything in, and then the muscles are stuck and they just can't get everything out. So what we do to deal with that, that's not an issue of fiber being bad. It's just an issue of having weak bowels. How we deal with that is, 1, make sure your water intake is at the max. 2, try to decrease some of the excess fiber. So for example, one thing that I often do to start with is I go, okay, let's take out the flax seeds and use filtered cold pressed flaxseed oil. Okay. So cold pressed preserves it, because if you heat up flax seeds, you're going to damage the omega-3s. Okay. They're not going to be effective anymore. So you need that to be cold pressed. And you need to be filtered because they take all the fiber out, all the shells, because the fiber in the chia seeds and flax seeds that stuff does not get digested. That stuff can really, really expand the bowel a lot. It's why also, guys, if you're bloated, that's why. It's not a bad thing. Bloating is not a sign of disease. It's a sign of water being pulled into your gut because you have a lot of fiber in there, and that's normal. It's totally fine. So try that to start with, is instead of eating all of these flax seeds, switch over to the cold pressed filtered flaxseed oil and see if that helps, because you get multiple benefits if you do that. 1, you decrease some of that extra fiber. 2, the oil will lubricate your bowels, so things will slide through easier. It's kind of like when people used to drink like mineral oil for a laxative. It's because if you coat the bowel with an oil, woo, everything slides right out. It's also why when people, when they were making Olestra, like the fat you can't absorb. Well, if you can't absorb a fat, where does it land? In your intestines. And what was the thing that was happening to people who ate that? Explosive diarrhea, right? So when you have some extra fat in your body, that can help things move along. You should not have explosive diarrhea from this, because you will absorb some of the flax oil, but it does help lubricate things to move things out. So that's where I would start for you or anyone else who's having that issue. That usually helps a lot.